Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Extraordinary Agent. And that's what we are. And last week we talked about our incredible, our super, most people call it superpower, but we call it our super love. And and we had talked about some action steps. And in fact, before we got on, good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome. And so Lisa, was that a cat there? Oh, look at your
Yes, yes, I
kitty.
do. Walking all around.
I love that. Teresa and I were we were actually doing a kind of a book review, if you will, on your GPS to success. And all of a sudden, when Teresa was talking, I heard meowing, and I thought, "Is that Teresa, or is that?" And so it wasn't Teresa meowing, even though she's just wonderful and furry and sweet. And so, yeah, it's great to have animals. Animals are pure source energy. And so it's a great way to raise your energy. In fact, is just by being with your animal, petting your cat, dog, or whatever you might have. When my children were growing up, that we had just about every imaginable pet in the world at one time or another. And the funniest experience I remember is we had this big python. You had this one day they wanted a python, of course, lost interest, that afternoon. And so I had to feed the python, and then you feed them with mice, live mice. And so I just bought a brand new Cadillac, and it was a green, shiny thing. Got it all spruced up. It was great. And on the way home, I had to go pick up one of these mice and pick up a mice at the pet store. And I'm driving home, and it bites its way out of the box, and I can't find it. And so the next day, I get into my car, and it just reeks
I cannot.
Cadillac. So, anyways, a little fun story there to start us off, and so yeah, so we've had an incredible time. In fact, you're going to really enjoy. You're going to love this session. We're going to talk about amplifying our influence today, and you'll want to take some notes, and hopefully you have your handout. If you don't, you'll be able to follow along, and we'll be able to describe it for you. But I wanted to start with fun things that you guys, because that's what this is. It's about all of us just talking and learning from each other, and having the contrast and whatever. And Lisa, you were saying before we started that you were doing a few things, and what were you up to?
Well, I did my Valentine bags and with a dollar chocolate heart and with a rose in a bag. And I dropped off. I started since last week, so I still have another 25 more to go.
Oh my gosh,
So I
great.
did. Well, I started picking the clients that are some that were thinking about selling, and some of my past clients, some of my referrals, and some people that were just sweet people. I know they're alone, and I know that they're going to appreciate that and at least make their day, whether they're going to refer me one or not, but just because.
Just
Just
because you bet. Man, what heart. I just love that. And we're going to actually talk about that today. But, for you to just say, that, hey, I made these wonderful little, and now is Valentine's Day we're coming up on. But if you're watching the recording of this, it doesn't matter what holiday, or it doesn't really have to be a holiday. You can just be nice to people. And so I love, Lisa, that, yeah, you don't judge this. You don't use your analytical mind to judge, oh, can this person give me business? You want to all just come from the heart. Hey, I want to make these, I want to connect with people. I want to uplift others. And so what a beautiful story on you doing that. And since you have been doing that for the last week, did you get any business results?
Actually, I mean, not right on hand, but I know she's been thinking about selling for about a year, and she's ready now. So I'm gonna get a market analysis on her house and hopefully put it on the market really soon. And then a
Awesome.
couple of other ones said that their cousins were coming in town and that they're definitely going to give them my name, and they'll let me know when they're in town so that I can give them. And everybody just, even though I didn't put anything about, giving me business or anything, I did put
Yeah.
at the bottom, I'm never too busy for referrals. I did put that on the card,
Yeah.
but I mean, yeah, I got a lot of great response. A lot of people were really happy. I sat down outside with them, a couple of them,
That's
spent an hour with a couple of them. So
wow. That's
they-
awesome. That's awesome. And are these so they're not just neighbors, that they're people you know, and so you've actually went.
right, all of these people I've known in the past. So whether they were past clients, did I freeze? You froze. Can you hear me? I don't know. You froze.
Dr. Hank left the building.
Okay. So is it me or is it him? Uh, So yeah, with the weather and everything, I was wondering how much I could get done too. But I'm gonna, as soon as I'm done here, I'm gonna head out and get out some more
Cool.
places. So, and a lot of it is in my farm. I have quite a bit of people in my farm, so those should be easy. Oops, there's my cat.
There goes the
Okay.
kitty cat.
Oh, there.
Does anyone else have, Teresa, do you have anything? Does anyone else have anything they want to add?
I do have something very, very powerful, and I didn't realize how powerful until I did it. So everybody knows that all of your clients last year who purchased a new home, that they are in that a time frame for filing their applications for their tax exemption. And I'm just going to give you Collin County as an example, because half my clients are in Collin County, and so am I. And I bought a house last year. So as I was going through the experience, I thought, oh my gosh, this is such a process. And so I took all of the different links that I was working off of, from collincounty.org to the tax exemption application. And so here's what's going on, not just in Collin, but Denton, probably Fort Worth as well, is due to COVID, we've had issues with going and getting driver's licenses that have expired, addresses have changed. So there's a lot of different, and of course the population is growing. So I put together a friendly reminder for those of you that purchased homes last year. I so appreciate, you letting me be a part of your life, or part of such a great event. And for those of you that have just purchased homes, and I sent it out to everybody. And so it went into, there were 2 emails. So let me go back to the one I did for Collin County. And I actually called the tax appraiser office and read the form. Well, in the form, you have to have a license that has your new address on it in order to get your tax exemption accepted. So that takes people to a point where they have to make an appointment to get their driver's license updated. And the appointments are being scheduled for like June. So I called the tax appraiser office and said, okay, so I want to give everybody really good information and instructions. I also sent this to my own neighborhood on their Facebook page. So there's so many people this touched. And so what I found out that was really key is that they will accept, the deadline is April 30th for Collin County. And so in the email, I gave everybody that information, that don't panic. If you're not able to make an appointment till June, they're going to accept late applications, as well as they will accept temporary licenses when you go to upload it on the website. So I invite each and every one of you, because the responses were so incredible, neighbors especially. And some of the people in my neighborhood didn't purchase homes with me, but they purchased a home last year. And so there were conversations with 4 new neighbors. I was able to put on Facebook. I'm going to be sharing information like uh, valuable information like this throughout the year with you. And for any real estate related services, think of me as your um, neighborhood advocate. So it wasn't really selling real estate. I didn't put realtor um, to follow the rules in Facebook. Because if you have a Facebook page in your neighborhood, they don't like you to advertise your business. So that was one piece that worked. All of my clients have been calling me, and 2 of them said, by the way, I have a referral for you. Um, and then I sent it out through KV Core, and I'm about to send it out as a post on LinkedIn and Facebook um, for folks in Collin County and Denton County. I have both instructions.
And what are
So
you doing, Teresa,
it
again?
was like just a really big deal to go down that road. And so many people were so appreciative, because getting that exemption is critical for your new home, and getting your license updated with the matching address is critical to get that exemption. So it has been just an unbelievable, well, the value behind it. I thought about the value, but I didn't realize what the value was in sharing those instructions. And I started it with great news, because a lot of people would have gone on that application and said, oh my God, I don't have an updated license for my new home. Oh my God, it's due by April 30th. And it doesn't say anywhere on there that they're extending it. And so I invite each and every one of you to take that incredibly valuable information, share it with your clients that purchased last year, in each one of the different counties they're in, and provide them with the links to go through the process, and invite them to call you to walk them through the process. And I
Awesome.
will tell you, the number one people that were so appreciative were the relocations, because they're not accustomed to what's going on in our state.
Yeah. Fantastic. Great, Teresa. Thank you. I got frozen. It's cold out, huh? It's so cold, it froze me. And then Lance, I love the doggies. I saw those before all of you guys froze. That
Yes, sir.
I'm talking, and I see all of you guys freezing, and I'm going, oh, you guys are frozen. And then I look, and I'm frozen too. And so it's a cold day. Well, fantastic. And that's just great counsel there, Teresa. And I appreciate that. And that's what, this is about, when you have some good ideas, good thoughts, some things that were effective to do it. And Lisa, I appreciate your comments too. Look at that kitty cat. That I appreciate your comments on and your inspired action to go out and give those wonderful little Valentine's Day presents to everybody. And again, just don't judge it, and you'll see it all come back to you.
Dr.
So-
Hank, can I share one other idea for everybody?
Sure. You bet.
Okay, so another thing that I've been working on that's gotten so much response is the clients that you have been working with in the last couple of years that took a loan for less than 20% conventional are paying MI insurance.
Mhm.
And with the increase in the value of homes, I would go back a couple of years and start connecting with folks, and to offer, here's where the CMA has become so incredibly valuable. If you pull a CMA with a value where it shows that they have more than 20% equity in their home, they're in a position to eliminate the MI insurance.
That's correct. That is correct.
And I've had
Great
2
thought.
people that qualified And one of them said, you know, my friend just moved here from Pennsylvania. I'm going to refer him to you. So the referrals are coming through these two avenues.
Wow, that's just fantastic. Yeah, that MI insurance. So legally, that the mortgage company, that when it is just the value of the current home that they have, the old value, if you will. And so they legally have to, when you get to 79% technically, that they have to stop that MI, and they're required. And by the way, I know that because I went to mortgage school, because there's a way for us agents to make $2,500 on every mortgage, and or refi, and so just another avenue of opportunity for us. So the MI is just great, and then the homestead is what you were originally speaking about, Teresa. Yeah, the homestead. So there you go. That you can use that. It's all timely information, and to be able to use that. And again, I'd write that down and then just let that kind of sink in afterwards, and kind of review your notes, and and say to yourself, hey, is this something that I want to do? And so thank you, Teresa, for that, and Lisa, for your input. And that's what this, again, is about, is all of us, a mastermind group, all of us sharing just great ideas to help each other and build our business. And so to get into today, we're talking about amplifying your influence. And I want to start out just by, I have, right now I'm coaching clients in Australia, Italy, Canada. So it's pretty wild. It's really neat. But the one in Australia, that there's this Bronnie Ware, she's an Australian nurse, not who I'm coaching with, but she has spent the last 12 years working with patients that are terminally ill. And so she ended up writing a book, and it's called, she would interview them. And it seemed that the people that, as they were nearing the end of their life, a phenomenal clarity of vision occurred for them, and they just became clear about their life, who they are. And she asked, what regrets do you have? And so the book is called The Top 5 Regrets of when you die, and what you didn't do. But I thought it was very interesting that here the top 5 are, and it doesn't matter where you are and where you live, that it's probably applicable to most people. That number 1, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life that others expected of me. And really take that and think about, how are you living your life? And are you kissing up to somebody, or are you, as I call it, a PP, a people pleaser? And so think about, really, speak up. And I talk about in marriages, I do marriage counseling and all kinds of different things. But in marriage, the 2 top things that are toughest to talk about, if you don't know, is money and sex. And so, to talk up and to find your voice and to share with you, what you desire, what you want, and not just about money and sex, but living your life and doing your passion. You have a passion in that. So within you, it's not really God's plan. It's this co-creative process on you've experienced life. And so it becomes your plan, your desire, and then God hooks up with that desire and will show you the way. And but isn't that interesting that that to have the courage? And so some of us talked about wanting to increasing our confidence. And so really all that is fear. And so there are ways to get rid yourself of fear, and I have all kinds of different wonderful magical ways to rid yourself of fear. But one of the main ones is using Archangel Michael, because he's there to help us rid our fear and fill us instead with love. But the second one is, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. And I've shared with all of you, quit working so hard. Stop using even the word work. You're not here to work. You're here to create and have a fun time. Be skipping on your path. And I remember Teresa that had shared with me in confidence, but she's okay with, giving me this general overview. But just, kind of like, hey, I'm kind of burned out. What should I do? How do I get my business, kind of back and be enthused? And I said, just forget about the business. Go do what you love, And so she found yoga, and we in fact talked about it on our podcast yesterday that she, found yoga and found painting and started doing that, and then got all kinds of business. And so, it's not about doing the business, but it interesting. Number two was I wish I hadn't worked so hard. So think about playing more and having fun. The third one, I wish I had the courage. Back to courage again.
Dr. Hank,
Yes,
can I
Teresa.
add something to number two?
Sure.
Okay, so you encouraged me with my two passions for painting and for teaching yoga. And so I created, I hope that this helps all of you. I created Passion for Painting, a Facebook page. And when I was working with one of my clients that purchased last year, who's been following that page,
Mhm.
he said, do you know what I got for Christmas? I got paints and easels, and I'm going to start painting. I just want to thank you for inspiring me.
That's
And
awesome. That's
so
awesome.
whatever your passion is, I encourage you to create that passion page, passion for whatever,
Mm,
and to start inviting your clients. I have so many people following me on there. It's
mm,
very intimate because I'm practicing painting, and I get to talk about, painter, realtor by day, painter by night, which was very good. Which was a very good uh, point of advice from Dr. Hank, is the more that we are real people and share our intimate self, the more other people engage with us. And we get an opportunity to tell them that we have a real estate business and that we have other passions. And the response to that Passion for Painting page has been surprising to me. So I encourage each and every one of you that whatever your personal passion is to create that page, but let them know what you do by day and that this is what you do by night.
Yeah, that's great. Um, yeah, or do by heart, even, on the night one, on heart. And I'll tell you why this is because people that really want to excel, that they typically go to training, and so they're told, hey, you need to go do this, you need to get this for business, and you'll see this is a completely opposite approach, that you'll get plenty of business when you really be who you really are. And who you really are, the essence of all of us, is love. And we're consciousness that, right now we're in this body, but with this powerful consciousness that can create and co-create anything that we want. And so just consider yourself consciousness. And so what has happened is we have the conscious mind and then the subconscious. And so the conscious mind, it's that analytical mind that eats away at us and says, hey, I got to go get busy, and I got to go, and I am busy, and I got to go work. And so just to replace all of that with fun and play, and give yourself permission to have more fun. And that's a powerful statement, because first of all, give yourself permission. You're the only one that can give yourself permission to do anything. Okay, give yourself permission to take it easy, have more fun, relax more, and you'll see everything will come to you. When you're trying to really work it hard, that you're going down some path that isn't the path with God. It's some other path that you're going to have to work hard. And I call it swimming upstream, where you get tired. But back to these 5 points that, I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. And that's the third one. The fourth one, I wish I'd stay in touch with my friends. It's kind of interesting. This is a way to stay in touch with your friends. okay, is to, reach out to them. Again, quit thinking about real estate or whatever, reach out. You will be amazed at the magic that happens and that they already trust you. And remember, every person knows at least 250 people, and out of that, 10, 12 people are looking to buy or sell real estate. And so as you get them to be thinking about, gee, your real estate and you're in my mind and in my heart, they start attracting people, the people they know that want real estate and need some help with it. So that's how it plays off. You don't have to do, all the work. And the last one is I wish that I'd let myself be happier. Isn't that interesting? Wish I would have allowed myself to be happier. So let's all today allow ourselves to be happier, have some fun. When you get off here, just kind of take it easy. I wouldn't necessarily say go for a walk, because it's probably too cold in the US right now, anywhere we are, to go for a walk. But go watch a fun movie or something, just enjoy yourself. Speaking of fun movies, Lance, I talked to you about Ted Lasso on the series Ted Lasso. Have any of you heard of that series?
You and I talked about it. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Yeah. So it's on Apple Plus TV.
Yeah.
And it is the best TV series or series I've ever seen. And it's just hysterical. And so it's Ted Lasso. And normally I don't recommend that, whatever, people have differences. I don't know anybody that I haven't suggested that to laugh away. We just finished, and we never do this, we just finished watching the whole series. It's so far just season 1, they're making season 2. But we've watched the whole series, 10 series, twice in a row. We never do that on anything, the Queen or we don't do that. And then we watched the last episode last night, and we said, should we watch it again? So we're gonna watch it again because it's so funny, and we kind of miss some things in it, before. And it's done by primarily Americans, but they're in England, and so they have English accents. So it's a little hard to decipher sometimes. So about halfway through the first time we watched it, we actually put on the words so we could read it, on that. But talk about fun, and it's just a half hour. Go have fun, watch Ted Lasso. It is just great. So with that, I'd like to talk about, this is amplifying your influence now. And so I want us to be thinking about how we can amplify our influence. And I sent you a handout, but this information isn't in the handout. And actually, Tao Te Ching, 4,000 years ago, identified the 4 pillars of influence. And of course, I've crafted them a little bit differently than he, because I'll share exactly why, but I think it'll be interesting for you to understand what the 4 pillars of influence are. And in the first pillar that Tao states is, the first pillar is power. However, I want you to write down love. So our power is really our energy, and the highest energy that we possess. And when we're just pure, when we get our mind out of it, when we get our guarded self, when we get our chained up heart out of the way, when we get the wounds from the stabs in the back from people that we've had in the past, and when we remove all that, we're just pure love. And so to recognize that the best way for us, the first pillar of influence, is this is the most important one. And the other 3 can't develop fully without it. And so the pillar of love, we navigate love in our lives, with our clients, with our colleagues, and with our friends. And we are just full of love. We just have to let go of the guardedness of the, really imagined. It's all made up. We're just pure consciousness is what we are. And so the wounds in the back, and for some of you that I am coaching with, that I've done with you, or if you want me to do that, just know that we all have been stabbed in the back, if you will. And so I can help you get those knives out of your back and then heal you. And Archangel Raphael heals you then, with that. But think about that, those things may be slowing you down from having the type of love that you want. We had also unchained all of the locks around, chains and locks around our heart. And again, we did all of it. That nobody else did it. We just responded by somebody doing something to us. And so this is, unlocking your heart, the locks and chains that are around your heart. Again, if you got some daggers in your heart, that I can help you get those daggers out. And so it's a beautiful thing. And what got in our way of that love is that we used our head. We used the small analytical mind to start analyzing, start judging. One of the reasons why Christ said, "Do not judge," is for this very purpose, that we started judging. And don't talk to strangers because we were brought up that way, and this person is this way, etc. And it kind of got us out of where we truly are. And so recognize the first pillar is love. And how can you have more of this? Is to ask for your fullness of your love to shine through, and that you want it, and you want to. It's really called, people call this like authentic. How do you be authentic? By the way, just a beautiful hawk just flew right by me, and it's just waving its wings at me, saying, "Yeah, baby, go to it." And so
he's not cold, is he?
Yeah, he's not cold. He's not cold, exactly. He's got a lot of fur around him, and just loving the freedom. That's one of the main reasons why we're here, is for freedom. In fact, I'm talking about freedom here. When you get those daggers out of your back, when you unleash your heart, that, oh my gosh, you are then free to love, to enjoy life in the way that it was meant to be. But the second pillar is presence. And so this is the presence, Presence. And being able to go from the first pillar of love to be present, and to be present in this moment with yourself, with God, to be aware and have that intuition. And we'll talk about that in a couple of weeks to really build your business intuition and build your intuition. But this idea about being present with other people too. And in fact, Teresa and I, in our book, Your GPS to Real Estate Success, Teresa talks about this ability to listen. And in fact, on the podcast yesterday was this ability to listen. And it's really to be present. And so we have a tendency to start going out and thinking about, oh, geez, so instead of listening, for example, to this, you're maybe thinking, oh, man, I just thought this deal might go south. I need to call Joe or whatever. Don't do that. That doesn't help. That stay in the present moment. There's all kinds of love and happiness and knowledge and answers for you if you'll just stay in this amazing and beautiful present moment. And so once you get your love free, then you'll understand the nature of your mind too, and go to your higher self. And so this higher self that you have, and so one thing that you'd like to focus on is probably creating calm. And so think about that. Today I want to create calm in my home, okay, and to be calm. And it's a great way to be. Christ said, "Come, the meek shall inherit the earth." And I always thought the meek were, these little wimps that didn't have any confidence, and didn't say much, or whatever. And no, the meek are those that are calm, that are relaxed, that are at ease. And so, and we talked about like in week 1 to get into your meditative state, because all of this is helping you to really tap into the magnificence of who you are, tap into your love, tap into your connection with your higher self, your higher power, and to be able to take it to a whole new place. And so that's the second pillar. And then the third pillar is purpose. And there's a lot of talk about purpose. Oh, my purpose is to make a lot of money, or, have a lot of business, or, whatever. But it's really this higher level purpose. And so it really goes back to the first pillar, is that when you start thinking, and you can ask for, so how do I figure out what my purpose is ask. And so it's always this ask and receive. So whenever you have any question, you can ask, and you can get the answer. Like the only right answer for you is sitting there. God wants to give it to you. And so if you'll just ask, and then just go on your merry old way, that all of a sudden the thought will come to you. And it'll be, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm doing Extraordinary Investor. And in that series, it's similar to this, but for investors. And I thought, how can I be able to impact more people? And so I just asked, how can I impact more people with this blessing and sharing this good news? And then it came to me. And so a whole different total marketing strategy, price, just everything. And it's just attracted some wonderful souls. But literally, I didn't have to go ask anybody about this, that all the answers are here with us. And so our purpose. And remember, we're talking here about influence. And so for you to be an influence, that influence just isn't some title or to put on your LinkedIn that you're an influencer or whatever, that influence really comes with a greater purpose, and that we are here to love, and now we're moving into each other. And this is where, see, we've been told, and there's a little edge on this, oh, I just want to serve other people, that it's really not about that it's when you serve yourself first, that then you'll be in a position that automatically you'll serve other people. And so it's this idea about being here and your purpose to love yourself, to love God, and then to love other people. But it all starts with you. And it's this word love. And again, you may not understand, I don't know exactly what it is. Actually, I'm going to talk about at our Valentine's Day party on the 7 loves. But there is the love archangel. And so you can just, again, call in archangels, just energies, loving energy from God. And we just put a name on it, and kind of like an angel to kind of understand and make it more human, whatever. But there's these loving energies that are for us. And remember, one of those loving energies that God has given us is money. And that's why I want all of us to fall in love with money. When you fall in love with money, money will be there more than you have even asked, and your cup will overflow. And then you can do all kinds of things and help charity and help yourself first, your family, and charities and church, and whatever you want to do. And so money equals freedom. And again, one of our purposes here, so fall in love with money. Know that money is good, and more of it's coming all of our way. And, that's the other thing that some of us have been brought up with. Oh, that, if I get something, then I'm taking away from you. Is that how it plays out? That when you ask for something, God makes more of it. So don't, and again, you may say, well, I never really thought that. But, think about that, and think about, oh, you've been told that you're being selfish. It's the only way to be. And when you're selfish enough to care about how you feel and to be connected and ask for this love, you will uplift way more people than you've ever done. You will serve way more people when you are selfish enough, because it's the only path to do. You can't think or feel for anyone else. And so helping others with their purpose. And so the way to do that is you just be that shining light. And when you're that shining light, you'll be that light with others. And then the fourth pillar is potential. And I love that. And it's this potential that when you have this love pattern, if you will, when you're just thinking love, when you're giving love, that when you have that love, you tap in to deeper levels of purpose, and then you can move from me to we. But only after you get the first three pillars, you move from me to we. And then it just becomes a party with everybody else too. And so, like, I invite everybody, I send one of the things in the morning that I do is then after I pray for every one of you today, and then I pray for the whole world and all the people of the world. And then I pray for them, and it's a perfect balance of this, that I pray that we, for every person I think about, for every person that I come in contact with, that we uplift each other. Okay, it's not me just giving to them. Okay, it's me receiving their upliftment too. So there's that even balance of doing it that we've been told, oh, it's better to give than to receive. It's just not true, that we need both. So again, I ask to uplift each other and to help each other to our desires. And that is the perfect balance in order to be able to serve people in a magnificent way where you're also serving yourself. I know so many people that go out and say, oh, I'm trying to serve, and I got to do this for that person. And they end up burning out. They're not taking care of themselves, and you have to take care of yourself. And when you do, and it's very easy, and when you do, that you'll be able to have that beautiful potential to aim high. And so I want you to, all of us to aim high, and just aim high on this life. I want even better than it is now. And I aim high for, I want my dreams to come true. I want to be happier. I want to have that long, happy, healthy, wealthy life that, and you'll see that as you start just showing your potential, and you have an endless amount of potential, that you can be, do, and have everything that you want, and just be easy with it and just ask for the next step. What's the next desire that I have? The next thing that I want to be, do, and have on that. So hearing those four pillars, what are your thoughts about those pillars?
I think they're great. It sounds really, really good. One thing that it reminded me of is when you're in a plane, they always tell you put the oxygen mask on yourself first.
Yeah.
Because if we're not feeding ourselves, or we don't have the energy, we can't help others. It's like, I think, the perfect example.
Yeah.
And then this goes along with something I heard about this guy by the name of Greg Braden, who many of you maybe heard of, but he was telling this story. He lives in northern New Mexico, and he was with this indigenous Native American gentleman, and they mountain, and they hadn't had rain on this mountain for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, we're going to go up to this mountain where there was some like circular Native American something, that symbol that they were going to go stand on. And Greg thought not to, he thought he was going to go up there and they were going to ask for rain and was going to create rain.
Yeah.
But the Native American guy said, no, it's not what I did. He said, what I did was I got in the moment and I started seeing the rain and everything about it. And he had the feelings of the mud and the rain dripping off his face and coming off his adobe, and seeing the rain into the crops. And he just felt it all in the present moment. And what ended up happening was that night, some freaking storm came in and dropped rain, and it didn't stop. And there was the meteorologist, like, didn't know how it even happened. Some like front came down and it twisted down, and he looked at that and all he could say was, they couldn't explain how that was going on. And the rain kept coming and coming and coming. And he went back to this Greg went back to this Native American gentleman and said, well, what do we do now? We're getting like so much rain. This is like, totally going overboard. And he said, well, that's the one thing that our elders didn't know what to do, didn't know how to stop it. So anyways, that's my little story. I don't know how it weaves in there for somehow in some way in there, but it's,
yeah, well, it's the second pillar. It's the presence and being in the present moment. And when you can just feel it right now, that the universe has to respond and give you whatever you're feeling. So if it's, millions of dollars or more business or another referral or whatever, if you can feel that coming, that's the energy that you need. And so speaking of energy, I'm going to give you a technique that is will give you more money. Would you like that? So when you have anything of more money coming in, so it could be you found, a penny on the ground, you got a closing, you had a closing, that what you do, so let's just imagine right now, all of us, that we just had a closing and we were paid thousands of dollars. And what I want you to do is say, yes, 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 yes. So can all of you do this now? Okay, get your hands ready here. Yes, 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 yes. And so the yes, and then more, and just be thinking about that closing, more. And that creates this energy because you're thinking about this closing where the universe, it gives it up. Okay, it gives it up and says, we're gonna bring it on, baby. We're gonna bring it on. So that's why the Indian was going, in essence, rain, okay, with his energy. And now we know the little trick that we just need to go like that and don't have to have all that culture of Indian in order to make this happen. That we just go, yes, 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 right, and whatever we want. That when you open up your eyes, that you'll see it and it will appear. And so it's this idea about, I have to believe it first before I can see it. And so, do you like that little one? Yeah, a little clapping. Yeah, hi, Angelica. Love you, girl. You're looking great. Um, and so, thank you, Ryan, for that. And yeah, that was the second pillar, and that was the pillar of presence. And so, we need those pillars before we can amplify our influence. That we need that love, that people can read you, they're not even aware of it. It's just like babies. Babies that, people say like, oh, the poor baby, can't speak English, can't walk, can't go to the bathroom, and walk to the bathroom, whatever. And like, who's running the show when the baby comes home? The baby is. Okay, the baby learns right away. All I need to do is go, when I get whatever, I get fed, my diaper, whatever. Like, everything is just like voila. And that's the power that we have and the influence that we have. And I've had parents say, like, a mom will come to me and say, now, don't tell my kids, but, I really don't like my husband very much. And I go, look, you think your kids don't know? They pick up that vibration. They know, or we're not going to fight now when we go out with the kids. Hell, they already know that vibration. So the point is, you're vibrating no matter how you're trying to be. If you're not authentic love, if you're not in that present moment, if you aren't with your purpose of loving yourself and loving others, and if you aren't showing the potential, okay, the potential of the future, and to be thinking about this on the potential of the future is magnetic. And the potential of the future of our clients for them to have the house they want, the exact home that they want. But you need to actually teach your people, your clients, on to do this stuff. And so again, you don't need to get into it a lot, but tell them, hey, really think about when you go home tonight, think about that dream home that you want and really get into that. and think about how easy it's going to be and how quickly it's going to be. We can't be thinking about, if you have a buyer, we can't be thinking about, oh, there's so many other buyers and, you know, it's always being bid with a lot of people. What you're doing is you're asking, that's your prayer, and you're going to get more of that, and your buyers are never going to find a place. So your buyers and you, we all need to have this mindset, and then this idea about the potential of the future. And just think about the potential of your future and your family's future and your client's future and your friend's future and how that goes. So once we have that, we can start amplifying and going into the handout that I had sent you about amplifying your influence. And specifically, the first one is, how do you get clients present and clear to hear what you have to say? So how do you have meetings that you want with your clients? How do you have a listing presentation where they take you, okay, where you don't have to even think about it, that you already know? And so the answer is, you have to pre-pave it. And so most people are, oh, gee, I hope I do a good job, but they're kind of really saying, I hope I don't do a bad job, right? Or, you know, not really, they're not standing tall and thinking of their potential and the fantastic potential future that's going to happen with this listing presentation, as an example. And so it's pre-paving it. You can't just walk in and expect you'll get whatever their vibration is and whatever your non-deliberate vibration is, okay? And it might be nervousness. And by the way, replace the word nervous with excitement. And don't use the word busy anymore. Use the word productive. And again, just tweaking these little things that come in that it'll change everything. It's a game changer for you. It'll change your life. Instead of, I'm going to go to work and I'm going to go play. What fun is that? That's what I want to do. And you'll see that when you use higher vibrational words, it will be better. So it's this pre-paving. So this idea about, before I go to this appointment, I'm going to pre-pave it. It's kind of like studying for an exam. You don't just go to the exam and take it. You have to study for it. Well, that's the same similar thing. Is I want you to study every time, and it's all fun and easy because you're going to just dream up how you want it. And so you just imagine yourself walking into the home. And I had one of my agents that I'm coaching with, that he said, oh my God, I was there at the listing presentation for 3 hours. And the reason why, and he's never done a 3 hour, and they just got along great and everything, and he got it right away. There were other agents that had already seen them, planned him, and they hired him right on the spot. And why? Because he pre-paved it. He said, it's just going to be great. I'm going to walk in there. We're going to like each other. We're going to really get along well. We're going to listen intently. We're going to all be in the present moment. Okay, step number 2, you know, be in this present. Going to be in the present moment. That I show them, like, I just start walking around the house and I just show them some great tips and things on how we could change it in order to get, you know, the best, the highest price for this, and ways, you know, and then I came up with some amazing ideas on how we could do virtual, you know, open houses and how to market this. And, you know, it just went on and on. 3 hours he was there, and it was just remarkable, and got the deal. Well, that's because you pre-paid it. Okay. And if people love you, that, and so some people say, well, this is unfair. I'm not being fair to the other people. No, God has it playing out to where everybody wins all the time, as long as you're on the winning side. Okay, so you're on the winning side, and hey, I want to help these people. I want the best for these people. I know that I'm the best and I can help them. And so it's this idea about pre-paving it that will help you. And
Hey,
so yes,
that pre-paving sounds exactly what we were just talking about in the presence, and pre-paving whatever we want to experience and feel in our life. It's just a perfect synchronicity there.
yeah, it is. It is. You're exactly right, Brian. It's the exact thing. And so on that first point, the 2 things are pre-paving the conversation and then asking questions. And so quit thinking about what you're going to be saying, and that just allow God to give you the ideas and the thoughts. And so other comments about that kind of point one is, and the main point is to pre-pave the conversation. Can you do that?
Well, I think one thing that is actually layers or whatever into what you're talking about really well, because what we first talked about was put the oxygen mask on yourself first. Let's take care of ourselves. Let's make sure we're in a good place.
Yeah.
And then when we're in that good place, then we are able to go into our clients and ask them questions and pay attention to them, because ultimately what ends up happening when we do that, the oxygen masks come back on us, and we get this pre-paving of money that gets returned to us, which we get to receive for our giving and for our knowledge and expertise in asking the right questions and really paying attention to them. And I know one thing that I do, I obviously prepare when I go into a listing, but the main thing I take is a freaking notepad, and I just sit there and write everything that they say, even if it's like, well, I think my house is worth more because than the house across the street, because what they don't know and anyone else doesn't know in this neighborhood, that the wind blows differently and prettier and smells better when it blows into my house. I'm like, okay, we're writing everything down. It blows better over here. The wind is great here. It's different across the street, but here, whoo.
Yeah, yeah.
But I just write everything down and just listen and ask more. Well, that's interesting. Well, is there a certain time of day that wind blows like that? Or, when is that? How does that all play out when that wind is blowing so amazing? Because I might think I want to be here when this all happens. This is good stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And I love this. And this is actually the third point about this listing. So, there's 3 points here, and pre-paving the conversation. And the second one, really wanting to know and asking to know what they want. And so not only asking them, but asking God to help you to decipher what they want and what they say or don't say. And then the third one is being this great listener. And as you brought out, and what a great way to prepare yourself, because we are these, even though we're pure consciousness and we're pure love, that because we're in these physical bodies, what a great way, bring a pad and paper. And that way you're serious. They know that you're listening to them. You're writing that down. And people just want to be listened to. They don't want to be talked to, and that's why, in fact, we're doing all of this. And this is, where we can all input on it, because, we just don't want a talking head, if you will. We want to be able to add our value to what we're doing. Yeah.
One other quick thing, if you don't mind me just mentioning,
Sure.
is I think we may have mentioned this before in another episode, but froze up. I think I froze up. Okay, so in mirroring, and a lot of times we think of mirroring as, okay, you move my hands forward, I move my hands forward. But really, for me, what I've discovered in that, if someone moves like their hand while they're talking, all I maybe have to do is just fidget my left hand. What it does, it engages me to their energy. And I've done this, I've experimented with it.
Yeah.
I start hearing and connecting with everything that they say by just this movement. I'm watching them, I'm hearing or I'm seeing them move. They may be moving their hands and I just move my right foot. Right. They may, do something like this and I'm just moving my knee back and forth, but it just gets me connected to them.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And that's just great. It's about this connecting. And so connecting with people. And so it's not about you. Most people are concerned about what they're going to say. You're not in the present moment. You're not caring about them. You're not showing your love. You're sitting there thinking, what do I say next? And just give that up. that, hey, I want to hear these people. I want to really understand what they want, that I'm going to be a good listener. I'm going to take notes. I'm going to mirror them as they're, talking like Ryan is, and I'm going to start doing a little. But like Ryan says, I really don't even have to do that much, maybe just, a little bit. Yeah, I know what you mean. So he's going like this, and I'm just going like that. And it's good. I remember I was on a big appointment when I had my management consulting company for large corporations around the world. And it was a CEO, and he had a cigar. It wasn't lit, but he had a cigar in his mouth. You could barely understand him. And so, I didn't have a cigar or anything, but I, kind of had my finger kind of in my mouth, like that. And as he got more and more comfortable with me, he sat back and put his feet up on the desk. And so I started getting engaged with what he was saying. I go, that is awesome. Would you mind if I put my feet up on the desk? Really looks comfortable. So I got my feet up on the desk. He has his feet on the desk. And his assistant walks in. And he just walks in, looks, and walks out. He's like, what the hell? These guys are just having too good of a time, on doing that. And of course, the deal closed. It was a multi-million-dollar deal. Okay. And it's really about just connecting with people. And it's nothing, I say very, very little, when I'm trying to understand where people are at or whatever. I'm just listening, and so I love this idea and this concept of mirroring, which is a great one. Anybody else have other thoughts?
I
Yeah.
wanted to add something. I'm always been fascinated by human beings and have studied human behavior and so many different things.
Yeah.
And one of the gifts that God gave each one of us is intuition.
Mhm.
And it is the silent communication between human beings. And so when we are talking to someone on the phone, or this is just my philosophy about it, and helps me to have better relationships, is to know that if we're on the phone and we're working on the computer, that other person knows that we are not present.
Exactly. Mhm.
If we are on a Zoom call and we're looking away or we're late or whatever it is, there's a lot of very silent communication that their intuition tells them, I don't matter.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's something that we all do subconsciously, I think. And so these 4 pillars, what was number 4, by the way?
The fourth pillar is the present.
Potential.
I mean, potential.
Potential.
And
I got so caught up in presence and purpose.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that, it's interesting that you brought up earlier that we want to be in touch more with our friends. And there's some moments where I think, my gosh, I spend more time and pay more attention to my clients than I do my mother.
Well, that might be a good thing.
So really, you're right about just calling somebody and
Yeah.
saying, how are you? Their
Yeah.
intuition picks up, I matter.
Mhm.
Just such a silent message.
Exactly. And that's why these handwritten notes, I matter, these gifts that Lisa did, that you're saying, that I care about you. I love you. I'm sending you my love. And that's all you need. And then you'll see everything will go there. And you really don't have to talk. I always say that even if they don't know your real estate agent, as long as like the gift or whatever, has maybe your card attached to it, or something on just realtor there that and again, we've all been taught, hey, if you know anybody, that needs a referral, I'm never too busy, and actually I don't like that too busy, because see, you're bringing up to that other person too busy, and then they think they're too busy, and so it's not really a very good feeling. So I get rid of that busy thing, that I'm never too busy, and then they're thinking about too busy. So you just want to give love and loving words, positive words, to other people. And it's just tweaking this little thing. And again, we've been brought up by some of the best people in the world that say, hey, you're supposed to do that thing, on referrals, and it's effective. I'm just sharing with you, there's a more effective way to really impact them and, not talk about busy or give them that thought. And instead that, hey, I'm already, and even referrals is kind of a cold name, isn't it? That, if I can help any of your friends with the American dream, I mean, doesn't that sound better? I'd love to be able to help you or any of your friends with the American dream. That, there's so many wonderful things with home ownership. It's all, data on, marriages stay together longer, better education for the kids, better health for the whole family. That, it just goes on and what this home ownership does. And not to mention on to build your wealth, and that, and because we're, all of us are going to quote unquote all retire, if you will. And, and what kind of retirement, do you have? And of course, us with stock at $160 a share, there we go. Yeah, all of you have, most of you have increased your wealth by 20-fold in the last year. So congratulations. And the beauty is it's not too late to get in on all of this. And so it's amazing. So
No time like the present.
No time like the present, baby. Yeah. And that's why it's called the present, because it is. It's our present. And all of our power is right here, right now. And so when you're with somebody else, you want to be with them. When you're with yourself, get with God and start thinking about what will be. And just feel it. Feel that rain coming. Feel that referral coming. Feel the money coming. Money, money, money. I love money and money loves me. I love money and money loves me. I love money and money loves me. Woo! So that's a great one to write down. I love money and money loves me. I love money and money loves me. And you'll see it'll come in infinite sources, infinite ways to bring you that. God wants nothing more. Your higher self wants higher power, higher love, wants nothing more than more freedom. And this is, and money is it. So with a couple of minutes that we have remaining, and again, anybody jump in at any time, you hear something. Yes.
Yeah, Dr. Hank, I just wanted to add, all of this that we're going over today, it brings to mind, like, you're talking about pre-paving, and I was also thinking about the perfect client when you had us do that activity, the perfect client. So when I was going through the thought process of who my perfect client was, all these key things were present. So my perfect client was, she was a family friend, and the love was present. I was there to help her genuinely, like you say, it's got to be genuine love. It was genuinely there. And when I did the listing appointment with her, like you said, I stayed there for hours. We were just talking back and forth. And like Ryan said, I was taking notes of what she wanted. And, and it was just the perfect situation. She already had a buyer. The buyer just came right in, and I helped them sell their home. So it was just all this confirms everything that you've taught us.
Yeah.
And it's just reassuring, and I'm just like, yes, it's all playing out well.
Playing out well. Yeah, right. I know you almost said that dirty W word.
Yes, I'm changing out my words, like you said.
Very good. Yeah.
It's great. It's great to see, I picture it in my mind, like you told us, our perfect client. And now I think that way every single time I meet with someone new.
Yeah.
And even like Teresa said, intuition, you feel it. You can feel when you have a connection with someone. And that's my goal. My goal is always to be a good listener to my potential client, my current clients. I want to listen to what their needs are so I can be there to help. So yes, thank you for this. And it puts it all in perspective. So
Yeah, that's beautiful,
perfect.
Angelica. And you know what you are? is you're irresistible. And that's what we all become, is we become irresistible. Because when we start calling it the way we want, and we have the power to do that, when we start calling it this is how I want to have this listing presentation just amazing. Or if you don't have a listing presentation, think about it on how a listing presentation comes, and think about how good you feel. Oh my God, I got this listing presentation that's just great. And as you get that energy going, that the universe say, hey, I'll bring you more listings, and you are really excited about this. And it doesn't matter if you're thinking about the past, if you think about the present, or you think about the future. Universe just thinks on it's right now in this present moment. And if you see that listing coming, that listing will be there. You feel that, being there. And so when you prepave, Angelica, like you're doing, prepave that listing presentation, that you walk into it and you become irresistible.
Thank you.
And again, some people say, oh, but this doesn't give other people a chance. No, it a choice or anything. Oh no, other people love this, okay? Because you're high flying, you're ready for a good time, you're ready to have a new friend, you're ready for that. They are too, okay? Because these are all divine desires when you get into really having desires that just make your heart sing. And that's why we went to review that in the second success unit, that, to have our desires, to have our hearts sing. And that reminds me of, make sure every day, like ask yourself today, ask yourself right now in this present moment, did I ask for tears of joy to happen to me today? Did I ask for big, happy surprises to come to me today? And if you didn't, don't get upset about it. You just say, no, that's what I don't want. And hey, I need to start asking, man. I'm going to start asking for what I want. And because that's what you want. And again, don't get real specific on it, because typically there's too much resistance. Like, gee, I want to win, $1 billion, which was possible a few weeks ago, whatever, in the lottery. It's too damn specific. Just ask money, 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 money. I love money, and money loves me. and it'll come to you. Then let God figure out the how. The Father does the work. And so now you're getting really clarity on, what the Bible meant, by some of these things and everything. That, hey, this is all supposed to be a joyride, man, and we can have it the way that we want it. And so we just have a minute left here, but the other one was 10 questions. And in that handout were 10 questions to ask to build deeper client and prospect friendships. And what do you really feel good about in your life? Don't ask them, what problem do you have? And people say, oh, find the pain and everything. I just don't buy it. And find the love, okay? That's what you connect. And so how do I find the love? Hey, what do you feel really good about in your life? Because if you can just find one thing good, that'll spread to all areas of your life. If you just think about that one thing that is playing out, you're going to help them do that. What could be even better? Have them start imagining their life a better life. Tell me more about that. Be interested. And the way to be genuinely interested is say to yourself at the time when you ask, tell me more about that, and just ask them. I want to even hear more things that will help me too. Okay. And they'll say something and go, wow, that's a great perspective. And I hadn't thought about that. And that's going to help me in whatever. Okay. So that raises your vibration, that raises their vibration. And so we just help each other. And as we help each other to our desires, we help each other to raise our vibrations, raising our point of attraction, and aligning us with God. Like, what better thing could we have than that? So there are some questions for you to be able to build these deeper, more meaningful relationships. But remember, it always comes and it starts all with those 4 pillars. And the first one starts it all with who you really are, and that is love. Any other thoughts, comments before we leave?
Thank you, Dr. Hank.
Thank you, guys. And you can watch our income rise
You can watch our income rise.
as more and more we magnetize.
As
More and
more
more
we
we
magnify.
We like to laugh and have more fun
We like to laugh and have more fun.
as we increase our income.
As we increase our income.
Moolah, moolah, moolah.
Moolah, moolah, moolah.
All right, everybody. Love you all. There you go. Clap.
Dr.
Get
Hank.
that
Love you
energy
too.
going.
Thank you.
And know
Thank
that
you.
all is coming your way.
Thank you, Dr. Hank.
Thank you. Love you
Yes,
guys.
thank you.
Bye-bye.